Either good morning and welcome to Newsroom on GHOne TV, leading the pack in this edition. Day 3 of decongestion exercise cases of Accra after Mayor's red line demarcation directive for vendors. Is this the right move? Join us for this conversation. Industrial action at University of Ghana intensifies as Senior Staff Association vows to continue action defying NLC directive. Suspended Chief Justice under fire as former Ghana School of Law director describes her interlocutory injunction as poor strategy. And business governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Asiama, has hinted at measures to consolidate the ongoing disinflation trend. And later, U.S. President Donald Trump denies South African native Elon Musk would play a diplomatic role in Oval Office meeting with South African President Cyril Ramaphosa. The details of these stories and others coming up shortly in the next 60 minutes broadcast. To stay with us on Newsroom. Welcome once again to Newsroom. My name is Emmanuel Agyabeng. We begin with the Apex Court of the Land, and the embattled Chief Justice has filed an injunction application at the Supreme Court seeking to restrain the committee set up by President John Dramani Mahama to investigate petitions seeking her removal from office. In the suit filed on Wednesday, the Chief Justice is requesting an interlocutory injunction to halt all proceedings of the committee pending the final determination of the case. The application also seeks to bar Justices Poamang and Adibu Seidu from presiding or participating in any of the deliberations that the committee is finding himself in. Here is a news desk report.
The Chief Justice of Ghana, GHOne, was suspended by President John Dramani Mahama in April 2025 following the establishment of a committee to investigate the petitions. This action was taken after 3 petitions containing unspecified allegations against her were filed. The suspension, the first in Ghana's history, sparked controversy, with opposition parties accusing the president of an abuse of power and judicial coup. Opposition parties, led by the New Patriotic Party, strongly condemned the suspension, accusing the president of abusing his power and attempting to control the judiciary. Some argue that the suspension violated due process and the principle of judicial independence. But the president's supporters argue that the suspension is a necessary step to investigate allegations against the Chief Justice and ensure a clean judiciary. And after the Ghana Bar Association issued a resolution demanding immediate unsealing of the prima facie determination against the suspended Chief Justice, Deputy Attorney General Justice Ramsay stated publishing proceedings or related documents would be a constitutional violation. But the Chief Justice is determined to fight the suspension with a latest move, an injunction application filed at the Supreme Court seeking to restrain the committee set up by President John Dramani Mahama to investigate petitions seeking her removal from office.
The Supreme Court has, by 4-1 majority decision, dismissed the case filed by civil society organizations seeking to reverse the president's suspension of the Chief Justice and halt the work of the committee set up to consider her possible removal from office. The CSO, Center for Citizenship, Constitutional and Electoral Systems, had argued that the president's action violated constitutional provisions and sought an order to invalidate both the suspension and the ongoing proceedings by the Committee of Inquiry. However, the Apex Court upheld the president's decision, allowing the committee's work to continue. Our legal affairs correspondent, Butala Yunusa, was in court and filed this report.
The Supreme Court has dismissed 2 separate applications, both challenging the committee hearing the petition seeking the potential removal of the Chief Justice. The argument was that, especially with respect to the one filed by Center for Citizenship, Constitutional and Electoral System, LBG, was of the view that the Chief Justice was not giving reasons for the prima facie determination that eventually led to the committee being formed to investigate into the matter. In the course of the argument, lawyer for the Chief Justice, Kobna Edu Kusi, made the point that once there are no reasons given for the prima facie determination, there cannot be any suspension. The warrant for the suspension should not be recognized. Deputy Attorney General Dr. Justice Side opposed to that and make the point that every single relevant person involved in this whole matter has been served as per the dictates of the Constitution. On the back of that, the 5-member panel of the Supreme Court, presided over by Justice Paul Bafo-Boni, in a 4-1 majority decision, dismissed the application as unmeritorious. But let's hear from Dr. Kobna Domfe Jr., who is the CEO of the first applicant in this matter, moments after the Supreme Court decision.
Well, they have spoken. I will go into conclave with my lawyers and we will advise ourselves. Right. Appropriately.
Thank you.
A similar one filed by Chodori Kofi Athakothi, also seeking a similar intervention on the back of this whole suspension of the Chief Justice, was also moved. Even that, the bench signaled him that the outcome was eventually going to be the same, but counsel proceeded to argue his case, and at the end, the court ruled that in a similar 4-1 majority decision, the Supreme Court dismisses that application also as without merit. From the Supreme Court here in Accra, Mutala Inusa, GHOne.
Well, the former director of the Ghana School of Law, Kweku Asari, has criticized Chief Justice Gertrude Tokonu's decision to file an injunction at the Supreme Court to stop the committee hearing her possible removal, describing it as a poor strategic move. He described the move as a provocation that flies in the face of constitutional governance. In an interview on Star News, the legal scholar said the Chief Justice's first point of call should have been the Judicial Council, not the Apex Court.
So a very poor strategic move. Tactically, it sounded for the Chief Justice. They are trying to in spite of all that had happened, she still had a good relationship with executive. I think that the Judicial Council has abdicated responsibility as far as counseling the Chief Justice is concerned. The Judicial Council has sat idly by and allowed this banter to go on and on, has become endless. A very unwise step that they are taking. Now, if indeed the executive had mind bringing her out, from the very thing that the Mahama administration came into power, she should have considered that as a trap. Now she has fallen into the trap, and by suing, she has muddied the water. She cannot come out of that. The poor strategic move based on advice, of whoever advised her, has closed the door. Whoever advised her has done her an irreparable harm, which is not in her interest.
As a legal expert, they're saying that is a poor strategy. But what are the many Ghanaians on social media saying? Nanama Akwa stands by with all the comments from X to all the other platforms. Nanama.
Well, thank you, Emma. Today we're going to stay with Facebook. The comments were overwhelming. So we have Patty here. She has politicized everything, including her own self. So therefore, what do you expect? As they, MPP, have refused to allow the law to work and the process runs smoothly, this is what is bound to happen. It's just unfortunate, setting a bad precedent for the country. Ibrahim adds, allow her to feel that we are in a democratic republic with a listening president. Everyone has rights. It's within her rights to file an injunction. Kwame says this is what you get when a whole CJ is being led by Godfred Dami. We also have Michael here saying that we can deduce from Old Tafel MP's actions that the CJ was behind it. The Old Tafel MP lawyer is now a lawyer for the CJ. Can this be a coincidence? Michael is asking. Ibrahim says it's clear that she cannot work with the executive, even if she succeeds to stay. He reckons she is a goner. King George says the MPP made one bad move after another in government, and they never listened to anybody. What is common to everyone to see, only they cannot see. It's too bad. We also have Anna Twam, who says it's just a delay tactic, but it will still end in tears. We also have Nana saying that's why she should willingly step down for her own good. Adams adds, former Chief Justice Gertrude, she's still the Chief Justice, Gertrude Tokonu should have known her attitude is holding Ghana hostage. And that is what you had to say. Continue to send us your messages on Instagram, on Facebook, and on X. My name is Nanama Aqua. Should she go? Should she not go? Will she stay? Will she not stay? Will she succeed? Stay with GHOne. You'll hear everything that needs to be heard. My name is Nanama Aqua. Ima, back over to you.
Nanama, thank you so much for giving us the updates on social media. We'll be shifting focus to a new matter that is raging concerning the Senior Staff Association of Ghana strike action, and we do understand that the strike has been called off. I will be engaging shortly with Abdul Hanan Adam, who is reporting from the University of Ghana Basic School, where classes and learning activities have been halted completely. We'll bring you that conversation with Hanan shortly, but there is a directive that has been issued by Professor Ahmed Jinapo Abdullahi in terms of the conditions of service that the Senior Staff Association of Ghana was relying on. And it says reference is made to the Ministry of Finance's letter dated 21st May 2025 on the above. And it's attached that you are hereby requested to take the necessary steps to implement the conditions as stated in the letter immediately. And so per this directive, we are believing that indeed the strike has been called off. This is the latest indication we are getting, and it's dated today. But Hanan is at the University of Ghana campus. This letter is coming today, and the directive to call off strike is only coming in now after the Senior Staff Association defied the NLC's earlier directive. What is the situation at the University of Ghana Basic School, where parents could not send their wards to school today? We are joined by Hanan Abdul Adam. He is our presidential affairs correspondent, but he's quite closer to University of Ghana. Decided to take a detour there and report with us. Hanan, many thanks for joining us on this broadcast. What is happening there currently?
Well, Agyabeng, at the moment, if you could see behind me, classrooms are shut. No learning activity is currently ongoing here at the University of Ghana Basic School. Teachers are not on campus except for a few administrators who are here taking care of some office duties. And just as you rightly indicated, the Professor Ahmed Jinapo of GTech has announced that the implementation of the earlier agreement that was agreed in November 2024 be implemented. But it appears as we speak now, administrators of this school are not aware of this particular news that is breaking at this moment. And so a few of them are still here ensuring that some day-to-day activities or some office work here at the University of Ghana Basic School is taking effect. But this is a complete shadow of itself, as school activities on a weekday would actually be buzzing. But unfortunately, the students are not here. With the news coming from GTech, parents will be excited because earlier in the morning, some of them actually came here to confirm whether this particular action is taking place or not, because some of them had to drop off their wards here before making their way to work. But unfortunately, it appears their wards will be staying home. But we engaged the administrator here in charge of the Senior Staff Association, who tells us that even though a directive has been issued, but they would wait for leadership of the Senior Staff Association together with the other two unions who have decided to embark on that particular industrial action to decide when they will resume work. But it appears that they may not likely resume work tomorrow, even though the directive says that they should go back to work immediately. Earlier, we also visited some officers here, and we realized that even though at the BAM library, activities are ongoing, but it appears that at the administration level, some senior staff are not present at work, except for some of those who are doing their internship and other national service personnel who were present taking charge of some administrative duties there. But like I indicated, some of them who are here are not aware of this directive. And like they said, they are waiting for the National Council of their union to communicate to them what the next line of action will be, Agyabeng.
Hanan, thank you so much for that update. Abdul Hanan Adam is our presidential affairs correspondent. He took a detour to the University of Ghana Basic School, and he reports that administrators there say that although the directive has been given by GTech, there is no assurance yet that tomorrow school activities will resume. They would wait on what directive the Senior Staff Association will take, and then that would inform what decision that they will take as a school unit. Away from that, the Ghana Private Road Transport Union, GPRTU, has warned drivers who do not comply by the new fares that it will be sanctioned by the union, while stressing on the challenges and forcing drivers who do not belong to any union to comply by the directive. Deputy Industrial Relations Officer for the GPRTU, Samuel Amwa, has advised commuters to report adamant drivers to various authorities, including the police. The GPRTU and the Ghana Road Transport Coordinating Council published a new fare list to aid drivers and commuters in enforcing the 15% reduction, which takes effect this Saturday, May 24, 2025, in response to the recent appreciation of the Ghana cedi and the drop in fuel prices.
Do this, and we'll make sure that all our branches will get this information, and they will make sure that they comply. Yes, we don't only just send it to them, but we also do a follow-up, and then we'll make sure all our branch, executive will also circulate this information to the drivers, making sure that they will do all this printout and give it to the drivers to make sure that this is how, or this is what they are going to comply, with. So, like the way whenever we increase, this is the same procedure, we go by and they comply. So that is the same procedure we are going to use, and we're going to make sure that all of them will also comply. There will be sanctions because, if a driver belongs to GPRTU and he's with our union, we'll make sure that they go by this directive. And should a driver decide not to go by this directive, we have an internal sanction that we do, give to those drivers. But most of the times, where we do have problems is, those, drivers that don't belong to any of the union. You see, GPRTU is the largest, transport operators in Ghana. So whatever happens, they do refer to the GPRTU. But some of the drivers don't belong to any of the unions. And that is one problem that we do face.
Well, after 2 days of little to no compliance, traders and vendors have begun complying with directives issued across the capital in the ongoing decongestion exercise as it enters day 3. Significant improvements has been recorded as the demarcation measures put in place by the Accra Metropolitan Assembly to allow for free movement of pedestrians and to deal with irregular traffic is being adhered to. The reintroduction of the red line policy is yielding maximum results according to checks by GHOne TV, and our reporter Calvin Powell joins us on the grounds with the latest updates. Calvin, many thanks for your time this morning. Where exactly are you situated now?
All right, and I can report to you that today there has been a significant improvement as far as the decongestion exercise is concerned. And there is a quick flow of vehicular traffic as well as that of pedestrians. And the operation has been enhanced due to the fact that there are a number of task forces that have been deployed on the ground. So everywhere you pass across the city, you will see a substantial number of task force making sure that people comply with the directives. And the mayor himself is also on the round with MP Zenato, trying to make sure that the education and sensitization is adhered to. So I can report to you that today being the 3rd day of the exercise, there is a significant improvement. There is a positivity that is going across the city. And if it continues this way, Accra will be a city that everyone would love to stay in, where congestion, as far as vehicular movement and vendors on the street is concerned will be a thing of the past.
Now, Calvin, it's good to hear that there is some compliance in terms of the directive to decongest the regional capital. But today, what form and shape is that exercise taken? Where are you headed to? What are the authorities doing today?
All right, so it's largely the sensitization and also the reintroduction of the red line demarcation. So with the red line demarcation, vendors are given a specific caution to stay and display their wares. They are not allowed to cross the demarcation lines. So that has been strictly adhered to. There have been a free movement, and there is this notion that if you cross the red line, you will be dealt with. So they've taken caution. Drivers are also happy about. I've encountered some of the drivers that are applauding the exercise. They say they are able to ply their business without any hindrances as in the past. So it's largely positive in the third day of this exercise, and we hope that it's continued. And if it's continued, Accra will be a beautiful place that we all dream of, and what it used to be in the past, actually, before it got congested.
Calvin, thank you so much for giving us the update from the day 3 of the decongestion exercise in the regional capital, according to our report and as mentioned by our reporter Calvin Powell. Indeed, persons have begun complying with the directive, and so wherever there is a red line, traders are said not to be crossing. But when we head up north, the mayor of Tamale Metropolitan Assembly, Abubakari Takoru, has assured traders in the area that an upcoming decongestion exercise will be carried out in phases to minimize disruption to their economic activities. In an interview with our Northern Regional correspondent, Noah Nash, the mayor mentioned that a compensation package will be made available to the affected traders.
Since the construction of the Tamale overpass in 2022, traders and transport operators have taken over the main streets of the metropolis, capitalizing on the available space to conduct their businesses. This has led to increased congestion in the central business area, resulting in heavier human and vehicular traffic. Some traders have moved their trading activities from stores to the streets to facilitate quicker sales. However, the Tamale mayor states that the decongestion exercise will be conducted without impacting the traders.
The Ababu stretch, I made some team to go into the market, and they came out with a data. This data tells us that a lot of them sitting on the roadside have places inside. But because they want quick market, they run onto the street. We are not just coming out like we used to do, because it is the same people that I have human feeling for. So therefore, if I'm doing decongestion or resettlement, it does not, affect them so much.
As the Assembly prepares for the decongestion exercise, some traders are appealing to the new mayor to expand and properly demarcate the market within the metropolis, while also ensuring that the streets are cleared of hawkers.
I don't think the town inside like this, they should get some big place.
The mayor of Tamale stated that the exercise poses a national security threat, and the Assembly is proposing compensation for it.
The congestion of the metropolis is a security threat. So therefore, I need to put in a proposal to the national security to see how best they can help. So it will not be surprised to hear that my tenure, we have carried out the decongestion and compensate some people. But as for the vehicles which park wrongly, we'll be having a meeting. Immediately after the meeting, we are coming out with what? A blueprint to effect those things.
The mayor announced that the NDC's regional executives are supporting the decongestion exercise to be carried out in phases.
Joining us for a conversation on the whole decongestion exercise is local governance analyst Isaka Amon-Kote. Good morning and grateful for your time on this particular subject matter. Decongestion in the capital city and even later on somewhere up north. One would say this is not the first time we are seeing this. After 2 days, especially in the capital city, of non-compliance, we are finally seeing some compliance with the red line demarcations. What is the best strategy that is available to the assembly in ensuring that people really respect pigments, respect where they are supposed to trade and not to trade?
Yes, as we all know, pedestrian walkways are pedestrian walkways meant for pedestrians to walk, not on the road, because you don't have what is certificate to use the road. And we cannot allow traders to occupy the space. So what is happening now is Accra Metropolitan Assembly is attempting to decongest its central business district. And based on the population or the number of people who are outside the market, I think the best that they can do is what they are doing. This has not been like the previous ones where you pick stick and you want to beat the people and they're running here and there and that kind of thing. But, well, let's see. The issue is bigger than the AMA, as I keep saying, because we have about more than 20 municipals surrounding AMA. And the ideal position is every municipal must have its own central district so that we all don't rush to the central business district of AMA. But that place is supposed to be the central business district of AMA. And people leave their municipals and then go and do business there and check out in the evening. So, yes, the mayor and his team want to sanitize the area. Why not? They can push them somehow, but I'm not sure they want to do what we previously used to do, you know. So they might succeed somehow, but the pressure will be mounting on them, and then it will become a Greater Accra issue. And if we are not careful, it will become a national issue because cabinet must come in, president must come in, or the Minister of Local Government must come in at this stage, and then in a long-term program, make sure that all municipalities have their own central business district. And some of these things will be a thing of the past.
Isaka Amon-Kote, the northern regional capital, that's Tamale Metropolitan Assembly, they are considering using compensation as a way to enforce their own form of decongestion exercise. Is that a way to go?
Well, in the short-term measures, why not? But then after compensating the people, how do you expect them to do their business? Are they taking the money to go and sit at home after finishing or enjoying the money, they come back or what? The best thing is to create other central business districts in their municipality. That is all, to solve a long-term problem. Because I don't know if we have time, but if you look at the situation we have on our hands, the Accra metro area is harboring all the warehouses that we have in Accra. And the shops there are supposed to be wholesalers. But the hawkers and those who are doing this, what we call local parlance, we call hawkers, are all around the same area. So if we don't have access into the main market, why don't we buy from these hawkers and then we get transport and get back home? So, as I have been saying, come to Ganoff, create a central business district for them, create a central business district for Ga West, create one for Ga Central, create one for Adenta. And why would people travel to AME? Why would they do that? Are they going there to have a sightseeing? No. So it means that you are using scientific or technical means to decongest instead of getting people to go and beat ladies with sticks.
Isakamon Kote, thank you so much for speaking with us on the subject matter. He is a local governance analyst. Let's speak to matters of health and here concerning the Agenda 111. Spokesperson for the Ministry of Health, Tony Goodman, says when it comes to really the minister's unannounced visits, he's not going to back down to the various health facilities. According to him, the move is to bring sanity in healthcare delivery in Ghana. He added the Health Minister, Kwabena Minteh Akando, now has a cordial relationship with the Tamale Teaching Hospital, and new equipment has been fixed after the minister stormed the facility unannounced.
He will continue doing what he's doing because I believe it's working. Now you'll be there, somebody will just send you a message, their facility is painting their building. People are now cleaning their washrooms and they are cleaning the environment because the minister may come there. So that alone is enough, even though that is not how we're supposed to live. But it's enough. It's sending some message across that he is no nonsense person. He wants to see Ghanaians benefit from the healthcare we've provided. We have the best healthcare in Ghana. If you have individuals who will not make this system work, it means that they are not ready to allow Ghana to benefit from this glory. So we just have to put them aside and get those who are ready to work, and then we'll move on.
Oh, with the Tamale Teaching Hospital incident, after all was said and done, the minister made a donation. He practically got items from here, made sure that all of that was in there. How's the hospital faring now?
I think last week, the training, installation of these equipments were completed, and then they have started using them. I can tell you that I'm very happy. At times, some of the troubles you go through are a blessing in disguise. They have new equipment, things they never thought they were going to get. They've gotten it. We have a very cordial, the minister has a very cordial relation with them currently, and we believe that whatever happened is an act of God. It happened for a reason, and they have benefited from it. The people of the northern region are benefiting from this gesture.
Mental health facilities in Ghana continue to face significant resource constraints, making acts of goodwill vital in sustaining patient care. At the Accra Psychiatric Hospital, the Anglican Women's Fellowship of the Accra Diocese extended support by donating food items and other essentials to aid individuals receiving treatment at the facility. The details now.
At institutions like the Accra Psychiatric Hospital, external support often bridges the gap where systematic provisions fall short. Stepping into that role, the Anglican Women's Fellowship of the Accra Diocese donated food and essential supplies to patients. Diocesan President Mrs. Caroline Cote Robertson said the outreach initiative draws its inspiration from the 1983 famine, when Orthodox churches under the Christian Council of Ghana began providing aid to vulnerable groups.
Famine came to Ghana and we didn't have food to eat. So the Christian Council of Ghana decided that the inmates here, they couldn't get food. So they said, okay, all the Orthodox churches, the Women's Fellowship, they should come together so that they will bring food to the inmates here. So Methodist, Anglican, EP Church, all the Orthodox churches. So it came, all of us cannot come here at the same time. So we have decided to come every third Sunday, and every first Sunday to another church comes.
President of the St. Luke Anglican Church Parish, Susanna Nana Oye Nikwe, noted that the psychiatric hospital has been adopted by the fellowship, with member parishes rotating to offer support throughout the year.
Us and the AWF adopted the psychiatric hospital, and we always come here every third Sunday to give food to the inmates as social values to the underprivileged and those who are not well enough to feed themselves, that kind of thing.
Senior nursing officer Dorcas Champon welcomed the gesture, describing it as a meaningful contribution that enhances both patient care.
The National Union of Tricycle Operators Ghana is pressing on all members nationwide to reduce their charges by 10%, effective Saturday, 24 May 2025. According to leadership of the association, this is in response to the city's recent appreciation and its resultant reduction in fuel prices. The move is similar to the recent reduction announced by the GPRTU effective Saturday for all commercial drivers. However, the statement co-signed by the national chairman and PRO for NUTOG wants spare parts dealers to also reduce cost of their wares in response to the appreciation of the city. National chairman of NUTOG, Hamza Hafiz, is joining me now for more on this. Grateful that you could speak with us. Unfortunately, you couldn't bring you that conversation with Hamza Hafiz on the reduction. But as you understand, the 10% reduction in tricycle fares over the weekend. You're still watching Newsroom on GHOne TV. After this break, we've got more news for you. Stay with us. Welcome back from the break and to the business brief. Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Asiama, has hinted at measures to consolidate the ongoing disinflation trend. According to the latest data from the Ghana Statistical Service, inflation declined to 21.2% in April 2025, marking a significant drop from previous highs. At the opening session of the 124th Monetary Policy Committee meetings, Dr. Asiama urged the committee to weigh all macroeconomic indicators as they deliberate on possible adjustments to the policy stance.
Convene at a time when Ghana's macroeconomic conditions are exhibiting early signs of stabilization, supported by recent policy actions and improving external and domestic fundamentals. But the path ahead remains complex and fraught with risks, both global and domestic. Since our last meeting, we have witnessed further moderation in inflation. According to the GSS, the inflation rate declined to 21.2% last month of April, down from previous highs, but still well above our medium-term target band of 8 plus or minus 2%, and breaching the upper consultation band of 19. The inflation outlook, while improving, remains vulnerable to second-round effects. Food supply constraints are still with us, especially from northern Ghana and the Sahel, and external price shocks, particularly given volatile global commodity markets. There are also geopolitical tensions and evolving global trade dynamics, including the recent US-led tariff disputes. These have heightened market uncertainty and could affect commodity prices, could affect exchange rates, and could affect financial flows in emerging markets like ours. In this context, colleagues, the bank has commenced a comprehensive review of its monetary policy implementation framework. We are transitioning from reliance on the unremunerated cash reserve ratio to a more active open market operations regime, including the use of longer tenor BOG instruments, as we announced at the maiden MPC that I had. This is intended to enhance policy transmission, it is intended to improve liquidity management, and it is intended to allow greater room for credit expansion to the private sector.
The Ghana Gold Board has officially extended the deadline for transitioning to a new licensed gold trading regime from May 21 to June 21, 2025. The announcement, made in a statement released by the Gold Board, signed by Prince Kwame Menka, who acts as Media Relations Officer for the Gold Board, dated today, follows multiple petitions from stakeholders within the gold trading industry. Under the revised directive, all persons currently holding licenses previously issued by the now defunct Precious Minerals Marketing Company and the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources are permitted to continue purchasing and dealing in gold using those licenses until the new deadline. However, Gold Board has made it clear that this grace period is final and non-negotiable. We have been joined by Prince Kwame Menka, who is the Media Relations Officer for the Gold Board, on this particular matter. Prince, good afternoon. What is necessitating this extension by a whopping 30 days, 1 month?
Okay, so we've received several petitions from stakeholders and a number of pleas from members of the general public who have been indicating to us that they've had a number of, challenges in ensuring that they're able to meet with the deadline that we gave prior to this deadline that we're given. And so upon those petitions and appeal from the general public and stakeholders, we have considered that we would extend the transition to the new gold trading license regime from the 21st of May 2025 to the 21st of June 2025. And consequently, through our statement, indicated that any person who holds a license issued by the defunct MMC and or the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources can continue to purchase and deal in gold with the said licenses until the 21st of June 2025. And like you said in your intro, non-negotiable on the 21st of June. There will be no more extensions. We've been so magnanimous so far in pandering to the appeals of members of the public and stakeholders. And we're also taking advantage to emphasize that even though a person may apply for a gold board license beyond the new non-extendable deadline of 21st June 2025, only holders of the gold board license will be allowed to purchase, sell, or deal in gold after this date. I repeat, even though a person may apply for a gold board license beyond the new non-negotiable deadline of 21st June 2025, only holders of the gold board license will be allowed to purchase, sell, or deal in gold after this particular date. And the use of the license issued by the defunct PMMC or the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources to deal in gold is hereby prohibited beyond the non-extendable deadline of the 21st of June 2025. And my brother, a breach of this directive shall constitute a punishable offense under the Gold Board Act 2025. That's the Act 1140. And I know you're coming in with that question about the export bit that we spoke in our statement. You see, the deadline extension notwithstanding, Gold Board would also want to inform persons who hold license to purchase or deal in gold issued by the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources that the export function, and this is key, and members of the public and stakeholders must pay attention to this, that if you hold any of our licenses, remember that the export function of their license has ceased to be valid effective today, the 22nd of May 2025. And accordingly, no person other than the Gold Board as a corporate entity as prescribed by the laws of Ghana, that's the Gold Board Act 2025 Act 1140, as a corporate body, corporate entity, is the only institution that can export small-scale gold from Ghana effectively, immediately. So starting today, those who used to hold licenses that gave them the ability to export gold, that license ceases to be valid today, 22nd May 2025. And accordingly, Gold Board remains and is the only corporate entity that can export small-scale gold from Ghana. So if you want to export small-scale gold from Ghana, you would have to go through the Gold Board.
President Minka, thank you so much for speaking with us on this subject matter. And that does it for business. Pretty shortly, we'll be bringing you the latest in our world of sports. Stay with us.
You welcome on to sports, where Ghana's #1 sports shop, Decathlon, has launched the celebrations of their 8th anniversary in a short ceremony held at the shops at Accra Mall branch on Wednesday. The launch also sought to reveal the shop's international partnership with UEFA for the Europa and the Conference League finals. Now, there's more in a foreign report by my colleague GHOne's Agyabeng.
Decathlon Ghana is excited to be 8 years today, and we are happy to celebrate this with all our family, all our friends, corporate bodies, entities, schools, churches who have always believed in having sports as a tool, for societal enhancement. Decathlon Ghana is celebrating 8 years with mouth-watering offers today across all our stores: Junction Mall, West Hills Mall, and Accra Mall. With any item that you pick in our stores, you get a 10% flat discount on any item that you buy in our stores today from the 21st of May to the 1st of June. It's going to be 10 long days of exciting discounts. 10% discounts on anything you buy in our store, Decathlon product, and then 50% discount on any Adidas item that you pick in our stores. Yes, 50% discount on any Adidas item that you pick in our stores. On top of that, you get a free customization from us. You get free servicing for your bicycles and your machines, because Decathlon has made itself a sports for all unit, a place where you can get all your affordable accessories and equipment to make sure you can enjoy and make sports a great deal for you.
And that was the brand and marketing manager for Decathlon Ghana speaking to my colleague GHOne. We'll give the report later on. Our coach of the Ghana Women's League champions, Abu Kasim, has expressed confidence in his squad's ability to deliver at the Wafo Zone B tournament to potentially qualify as well for the CAF Women's Champions League. He acknowledged that the challenge of losing key players in the past, but assured that the team is prepared to strengthen their squad when necessary before they go into Africa for the championship.
Have smart enough players, but Champions League is a different level. You must have smart players in every position. You must have energy in every area of the pitch, okay? Because you are coming against the best in Africa. As I just told you, every club coming into this competition is the best from their country. Only few, probably from Burkina Faso. Even Burkina Faso, we have our players playing Burkina Faso.
Interesting.
You understand? It's only in Ghana that we don't have players coming from other countries to play. We can't pay them. Okay? So our best goes out and then play against us. What we can do here is to appeal to our friends. Now we are the champions of Ghana. We are representing Ghana. It's like national team now. Because if we go and perform, the value of the women football in Ghana here will go high. And it will automatically affect our fortune. Me as a coach, wherever I go, my value will be high because the Ghanaian team won the Champions League. That means Ghanaian coaches are good. Okay? Then Ghanaian players won the Champions League. That means Ghanaian players are very, very good. So big clubs in Europe, Arsenal, Barcelona, Lyon and stuff, we're now looking at Ghana for our players.
On to the big game from last night, where Bernard Johnson's scrappy first half goal fight Tottenham to their first trophy in 17 years with a 1-0 victory in the Europa final against Man United. It was a game and a goal that was befitting of a club. Teams by the Wasp Spurs, who finally ended their silverware drought, winning their first title since 2008. Now, Ange Postecoglou claimed earlier in the campaign that he always wins trophies in the second season and has been vindicated therefore. Whether it is enough to get him to remain as a coach of the team or not, the club will be playing in the Champions League season, that's for sure. Now, let's take a listen to the coach, Ange, and also the captain of United, Bruno, speak after the game between Tottenham and United.
I'd sort of to put into words the emotions. Super proud of the players. To quote my favourite Australian Prime Minister, Paul Keating, he said, after an unlikely victory, he said, this is one for the true believers. And this is certainly one for the true believers. And that means, an unbelievable group of players who never wavered, never lost faith in me and what we were doing. Unbelievable football staff led by brilliant coaches. People who work at the club, from board down, whether it's Lily Whitehouse or at the training ground, and supporters. I know people think I've got this sort of fractious relationship, but every supporter I ever bumped into was just so kind in reassuring me that, they believed in what I was doing. I'd never felt, I understand the disappointment we've put them through this year, particularly in the league, but, just seeing them tonight, the impact it has on them, some of them, it's obviously 17 years since our last trophy, 41 in Europe. Some of them have never had a night like this.
Obviously, they scored a goal. We couldn't get our goal. Create some chances, and we couldn't find the net. Obviously, they did it in a cross where we were. I think we defended very well in the first half. We didn't give many chances away. They had some corners, but main thing in football is scoring goals, and they did score today, and we didn't.
Congrats to the Hotspur for the wonderful win against United. That should be it for sports.
I'll bring you some entertainment zone. On the entertainment, musician Mona Faiz Montrage, popularly known as Hajia for Real, is expected to be released today the 22nd of May 2025 after completing her sentence at the Federal Detention Center in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Montrage was sentenced on 28 June 2024 to a year and a day in prison after pleading guilty to conspiracy to receive stolen money in connection with a romance scam that defrauded victims of over $2 million. The additional day in her sentence made her eligible for a good time credit, potentially reducing the duration of her incarceration. Following her release, Montrage is anticipated to return to Ghana under a self-deportation agreement proposed by her legal team and approved by a U.S. court. This arrangement allows her to bypass detention by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Nice. Let's do some international news now. US President Donald Trump has evoked South African native Elon Musk from an Oval Office meeting with South African President Cyril Ramaphosa, but denied Musk would play a diplomatic role. President Cyril Ramaphosa was confronted by US President Donald Trump with controversial claims of anti-white persecution and Oval Office meeting on trade and bilateral relations. But the meeting took an unexpected turn when US President Donald Trump abruptly shifted the conversation, confronting Ramaphosa with controversial claims of a white genocide in South Africa, diverting attention from the official agenda and sparking widespread reaction across diplomatic and public spheres. That has it for the entire broadcast. Many thanks for your company. My name is Emmanuel Agyabeng. Have a wonderful afternoon.